From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao Mohan here to host the show today, and it's really your opportunity to ask any type of legal question you have. And on today's show, we've got Kevin Kennedy from Clarksville.
Good to see you tonight.
Good to see you too.
Yes, as always.
And you're always here to answer so many questions for people. What a great service that people have the opportunity to get free legal advice.
You know, we love the show because it does, you know, if you've got some information, you've got some advice, you love to share it. You know, it's one of the famous coaches that said, take your profession and learn all you can, and then he said, give it away for the rest of your life. And so tonight's one of those opportunities we love to give and share, and if it could make a difference for our viewing audience, we want it to do that.
And please call that number at the bottom of your screen. That's 737 plus 737-7587. And Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville is here to answer all of your questions. And really, we can take questions that are civil, criminal, anything in nature.
You know, one of the fascinating things about our life in America, knowing just a little bit of the law is dangerous, and you cannot practice law in one specific area without other kinds of laws that you have to know and be aware of. For instance, you know, almost every divorce is going to have a bankruptcy issue. Almost every bankruptcy issue deals with divorce, and then divorce deals with criminal charges. So that's why it's good to know a little bit about a lot of different things, and the general practice lawyer is a wealth of information. You know, it was Benjamin Franklin that said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I've thought about that over the years, and it is so true. I love those
Certainly
old sayings.
in the legal profession, you don't think about it, but it really is.
Yes. And you know, one of the other things I've always kind of built my career around too was the team approach. You know, just like you and I are here tonight, we could disagree or we can agree, and when two lawyers agree, that's pretty powerful. You know, Benjamin Franklin also said, if we don't hang together, then we will all hang separately, surely. And so he even talked about the team, and Jesus, the greatest teacher of all, he had 12. So, and the Bible says two are better than one threefold cord's not easily broken. It's all some great wisdom. Take the wisdom, put it to the facts to the law, and then we'll maneuver through this life the best that we can.
And you've always, you know, I kind of admire that you've been practicing for so long. I've been in practice for a little over a year, and you're going on 30, is that right?
Yeah, I just passed over the 30.
Okay.
And a lot of people laugh. They talk to me about it, and I said, well, this coat has a lot of bullet holes. They never got a good clean shot on Kevin, but his jacket is riddled with bullet holes. Because, you know, when you go in those firefights, and that's exactly what it is, and it's damage control some days, and I'm still standing. Some of the greatest lawyers in my career are down, and they didn't get back up. So I understand how dangerous it can really be, and if you or a family member is facing a crisis, don't you know you want somebody, love to have a veteran walk through that jungle with you and maneuver your family and come out on the other side.
And we've said on this show many times before that even as lawyers, we would hire a lawyer if we needed it.
Absolutely.
Right?
You know, everybody says, we hate lawyers, but what I always hear is they love their lawyer. And I've hired lawyers over the years, even, you know, even though I've got one of the biggest law firms around there in Clarksville, and but I want those other guys. I like to bring them in on the team, and I always like to get everybody's advice. I'll make my own decision, but I love to have all the others' advice. And you know, a lot of times I watched that O.J. Simpson trial when I was a younger lawyer, and O.J., he put together a team. You know, they call it the dream team, but you know, O.J., he was never convicted of that murder of Nicole Simpson. So I learned a lot through that. Also, you know, I watched that on TV, and they tried O.J.'s case before they ever really tried. They had a private courtroom, and I said, wow, if it's good enough for O.J., and I built my own private courtroom at that time, and so we have the largest private courtroom in the state at my Fort Campbell office, and we bring children in, and we put on mock trials, and it's been a wonderful program. But I got the idea from O.J.
Wow. And it's been how many years since that? 20 years?
Yes.
Like that?
Well,
yeah.
I guess it's been probably 96 is what I'm going to ball. So that's 18 years.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, call that number at the bottom of your screen, 737 plus 737 7587, and Kevin can take any of your questions here. And who can resist a man in purple? So
Wow.
people are going to start calling.
I was even watching it on that screen over there. Said, I didn't know that was me up there tonight.
Yeah. Well, it looks
was-
good with the blue around you. It's perfect. So, well, we've got our first caller
Okay.
here, I think. We've got, let's see. We'll see who this is. Hi there.
Is that me?
Yes,
is you.
that's you.
All right.
Hi.
Kevin,
Yes.
what is up with this state? Why have I wasted blood, sweat, and tears for an employer? Did nothing wrong whatsoever. Had a health situation. Was fired
Oh, my.
for that. Lost my insurance. Had massive medical bills. And I had insurance through my company. Contacted my company. Tried to get on Cobra.
Yep.
The company refuses to send information to Blue Cross Blue Shield to send me the information for Cobra, so my phone rings off the hook about these medical bills, and everyone that I've talked to said go to the Department of Labor, and the Department of Labor says go talk to an attorney. And the
Yes.
attorney says, go talk to the Department of Labor. It's this vicious cycle of, when, for the love of God, can somebody working, doing the right thing, get taken care of in the state of Tennessee by a lawyer? I'm sick and tired of companies being able to do whatever they want to do when
Kevin, what do you
they
think?
want to do it.
Well,
How do you think you can help this gentleman?
listen, what you are saying is the most classic example when we go to the legislature and they say, we need tort reform. We've got to stop all these lawyers of advancing. If you don't have laws in effect that allows a lawyer to stand up for the individual rights, you know, everybody can say, well, let's bash the lawyers, let's do tort reform. But you know who you really are bashing is the little man, the working man. And so when I go back and hear him, I feel for you. I had a phone call today at the office just in the same boat. And so many people can't even get help from any source. So, you know, again, we say, is it a vicious cycle? He nailed it. You send them to the Department of Labor, and then but your legislature, the representatives and your state senator, they have the ability to put legislation in. And one letter from a lawyer, if we had the laws in effect, one letter would say, okay, Mr. Insurance Company, then they'll go on and do what is right. But if they say, hey, the law is we're free and clear and we can do this, then it leaves abuse. And the little man must understand his only hope is with the lawyer.
It can be a frustrating process.
Absolutely, and my heart goes out to this man. And what do? There's more bills than you can pay, and now you got another corporation breathing down on your neck trying to collect this.
We've got Joe here on line 2. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I got a question for, got his name already.
Kevin.
That's all right. Go right ahead.
Anyway, I've got a question about constitutional law. I hear people on talk radio all the time blasting away about constitutional law violations. I've got one in southern Tennessee here where the county took me to court, issued a permanent injunction against me operating my grandfather's business, which I had before closure was put in place, and I have not been able to find me a lawyer to help me get out of the situation.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I would do is you can always call the Tennessee Bar Association. They have a referral list. And usually, if you can tell them what kind of case you have, they have lists of lawyers that handle domestic cases, that handle discrimination cases, and they have a list that also entertains the constitutional law problems. So that's where I would start. And the Tennessee Center for Justice is another avenue. Resources, it gets back to the squeaky door gets the oil. And so many people say, that's it, I don't want to stay on the phone a long time, I'm disappointed. And again, you know, on behalf of the lawyers, The lawyers can only advance when there is enough economic resources there on the far end, because they have to pay for their libraries and their secretaries, and so they can't get involved and go broke. So it's a fine line balance, but absolutely go to the Tennessee Bar Association. That's your #1 resource.
We've had already a lot of great advice today and more to come, so please keep calling that number on your screen, 737+, and we'll be back with Kevin Kennedy after this.